Okay, then we'll start on the trapezius. The things I use my hands. What I use primarily are my knuckles. This area of my knuckles, the flats of my fingers here. I use a thumb knuckle, like that, or finger, like that. Or you can use the heel of your hand. I'll show you how to use these in different areas. The most important thing is to have some rhythm. When you stand here with your horse, use your feet, push with your feet, and use all your body to get some rhythm. So I'll show you very slowly. We put the knuckles on the horse, keep your wrists soft, and you get a rotating motion like that. So you're moving your knuckles, you're working your knuckles into the tissue. So his skin on top, I can move the muscle underneath while leaving the knuckles still on the skin surface. Like that. I hope you're able to see that. That's important. Don't scrub on the coat, you'll take the skin off your hands. Use his skin to move the tissue underneath, like that. So it's a crawl. Keep the wrists supple. And what the horses like is rhythm. So at all times, keep good rhythm with what you're doing. A horse that's a little uptight will like a fast rhythm. A horse that's pretty laid back will like a slower rhythm. This horse actually likes a slower rhythm. Just like that. We work across the muscle fibre. The fibre in this muscle is running like this, up there. We're working across, like this. If it's a little firm and your horse flinches away from that, try backing off a little bit with the pressure. If we work on a pressure system from 1 to 10, start at 5. Maybe go back to 4. If your horse gets you to back off a little more than 4, increase the pressure, go to 6. He may not like that very much at all, then go back to 5 and he'll really appreciate that and stand still for you. Now we're working back here in the trapezius thoracica. This is running over this horse shortly, briefly. I'd spend a little more time than this if I was really working on him hard. But it's important to be able to use both hands. Can you guys see how my knuckles are working there? Forward is back onto the flats of my fingers there, and I can crawl forward. I'll put that in slow motion for you. That's how I'm working. And keeping good rhythm. It's important with your horse that you keep your other hand still as a passive hand. It's communication with the horse, helps to keep him a little relaxed with what you're doing. I'm following along this trapezius thoracica through here, right back to where it finishes back here, and like that. You can use your thumb knuckle in there. Just work your thumb knuckle in. Good boy. Okay. Now, we have two options here. We can use the knuckles and working in here. Good boy. Remember, keep your body moving. Use a rhythm. Don't just stand there like a statue and move your arm, because pretty soon this part of your arm, your shoulder's going to kill you. So you want to keep your whole body moving. Keep that rhythm up. The horse will start to appreciate it. If one arm gets tired, start to use the other. We can work through like this. Now I'm not rubbing across his coat. If you start going like that across his coat or scrubbing, you're going to take, as I said, take the skin off your hands, off your knuckles. Some people may want to use gloves, and that's okay, but you can't really feel much through gloves as to what's going on. Maybe you want to use some gloves with the fingers cut out just below your knuckles, so you have some protection for your knuckles. You still have your fingers to work with. When you're checking a horse, check them out with your hands first. Check how the muscle feels, how the tissue feels, and examine as you work along. When you finish the job, check it out again. How does it feel again afterwards? You can use your elbow. Using your elbow in here is pretty good. Most horses enjoy this. And one thing about this, it is hard work. If you're not tall enough, if you have a big horse, you may want to stand on a crate or some sort of stand. You can work along here with your elbow. A lot of horses are tight back here in the loin. You can work back here, up into the origin of the longissimus dorsi back here. And work quietly, softly with your elbow around his hip. So check that out again. Where does he feel a little firm? Another thing you can use is a compression stroke, like that. This helps to put blood in through the muscle. Good boy. Just let him relax a little. And working here along the top of his ribs. Okay, you can see through this horse through here, this little hollow he had below his wither, behind his shoulder, a little bit of atrophy. He's actually lifted and pulled out of there a little more. If we lift his back, we lift his back up there, we've got more than we were able to before. So he's loosened off. You can see this back, if it's tight, pulls the back, this longissimus dorsi draws the back down. If it's tight, it's going to keep the back drawn down. It's much easier to lift that back now with that muscle eased off a little. Okay, if we come back to the back end here, we're going to start on the medial gluteal. You're located above the point of the hip, or the fool's hip here. Just working here with your fingers. And the pressure I'd have out of 10 is, I guess, around 5, maybe 6. You can use the point of your elbow. You can get a little bit of purchase on there. Really working there. That's a little stress point in there. Working through all the muscle this way. The biceps femoris are up in here. You can work in here with fingertips. I use these 2 fingers in there. Working across the muscle fibre. Get in there with your elbow. The idea is to get the whole area supple. If you have a horse that's a little lively, don't stand in behind him. Give out to the side a little more. You probably want to work on him like this. All right. From here, we can work along the top down to his dock. This is going to help to release the semimembranosus and semitendinosus down through here. Don't be afraid to work in there, around there with your fingers. You get a lot of tension around here. If you ask me what sort of horse gets sore there, I could tell you a racehorse, a reining horse, a show jumper, a dressage horse, any horse you care to name. This is a very common place for them to be sore. Don't be afraid to work across the muscle. Be careful once again, you don't get kicked working around here. The horse can lash out a little. This guy's not going to, because I've got a deal going with him. Okay, we work just the semitendinosus here. I'm using the thumb. and work from the bottom up. Work across the muscle and work up his leg. It doesn't matter which way you're going. You start from the top and work down, or start from the bottom and work up. As long as you work along the whole muscle. Check it out, that's feeling, whole thing is feeling a lot softer through there. Okay, we come to this, the superficial gluteal. You can work in here with your fingers. Your knuckles, I'm working my knuckles under here. I want to get this whole muscle nice and supple. I'm working in here, keeping it a steady sort of rhythm. You can use your elbow, like that. You can use your other elbow, like that. Whatever works for you. I'm just going to work in here. He's starting to lean on me a little. He doesn't think that's too bad. Good boy. Good boy. All right. Just work our way down the leg here. And work just under the point of the hip. We have a tensor under here.